Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I have a cute little box to share. It would make a great teacher's gift for your hairdresser or whatever have you. This one I've put one of the hand sanitizers from Bath and Body Works. It fits in there. But also it will fit a couple of these chocolate squares if you wanted maybe to have a table decoration for Christmas or maybe Thanksgiving if you change the theme out slightly. So let's share how I made it. So it's basically a die, and it's from the little treat box dies, and you'll need a half sheet of cardstock. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. Now the die is just fits if you position it like this and run it through your cut and emboss machine. You will just get one out of half a sheet of cardstock. And so this is what it looks like. It pops out of the die really quickly, really easily. You might find that you've got a few little bits, but they'll just come out if you use the piercing end of your pick your tool there. Now for mine, I did a little bit of tone on tone stamping. I'm using the gift wrapped stamp set, and there's like this little star one here. I'm using that plus one of the bows, and I'm using the greeting that says especially for you. So as I say, we're going to do some tone on tone. So my cardstock is Balmy Blue, and so I'm going to be using Balmy Blue ink, and I'm just going to stamp randomly on one panel of my card here, and these little side pieces as well. It doesn't matter if you go over the score lines, because that'll be hidden anyway. And that's the lovely thing about this particular die. Not only does it have your score line, not only does it cut out the basic shape, but it cuts out the slots, and it puts in the score lines as well. I don't know if you can just pick out those score lines. And then we're going to put in the folds, and I'm going to use my bone folder to put that in. And I'm going to start with these ones first. As I say, these would make a really nice little teacher gift, or maybe something to hand out to the crossing guard or your hairdresser, just to say thank you. And let them know you're thinking about them. And for your Christmas table, it would just be nice next to each person. And instead of putting the greeting, what you could perhaps do is to just write their name, and there you've got your little placeholders there. So there's my folds, and I'm going to, if you can see, there's like a little slit here and your tab here, and I'm going to put it so that the tab goes in from that point, and then it's actually coming out on the bit that would be covered. And I did doing that deliberately because that's one less thing to get sort of caught up. So then I'm going to use some double-sided tape. You can use liquid adhesive. I would recommend not using the Stampin' Seal. The Stampin' Seal Plus, I have to admit, I haven't yet used any, so I am just going to go with what I know. And what I feel comfortable with. So I'm going to take the backing off here. Let's just burnish that down first. Now you will see that I've kind of cut this a weeny bit on the long side, but I'm not going to fret or try and trim it off. I'm just going to use my piercing tool to just hook that back over, and then it's not going to stick anywhere where it's not supposed to stick, except my finger. There we go. And then I'm just going to hold everything square, make sure that the side panels are meeting the cut piece, and then I'm just going to pop my bone folder in there to just tie that down. And again, on the other side, I'm going to put the little tab through so that it's going to be covered here, and then back with the tape. Now you can use cardstock as I have, or you can use designer series paper. Both make great little boxes. There we go. And again, I'm just going to carefully make sure that my side pieces here are lined up with the cut edges of this piece there. And then again, and it's as easy to do that. That's the actual box all done and ready to be decorated. So I'm going to use a piece of this really scrumptious poinsettia plush paper, and basically there's 3 designs. You've got your holly leaves and berries, you've got your poinsettias, and then this one is kind of a more generic design. It reminds me a little bit of maybe snowflake, but maybe that's just my imagination running wild there. So I've cut a small piece, and I'm going to use a tiny little bit of the tape. I don't need much, just a tiniest little bit there. That's the stamping seal. I know it escaped my mind for a minute. Now, although this is kind of translucent, it's sort of a vellum effect, I did find that it doesn't really, the adhesive doesn't really show through, so you haven't got to worry too much about that. So there's our decorated piece. And then you can put your little gifty thing in, and then I have used some of the Snowflake Splendor ribbon. And I haven't worried about a bow. All I'm doing is just going to thread a length through. I never cut ribbon off of the bolt until I finish with what I'm doing, because then I don't have to waste any by trimming off if I cut it too long. And all I'm going to do is to gently pull it together and just put in a simple knot like that. And then get my scissors and just trim it off to the right length. Now this end is a weeny bit shaggy, so I'm just going to just gently, and I haven't wasted any of my ribbon. I think it must be I've got some Scottish blood in my veins that won't allow me to waste anything. And then my decorative pieces, I am going to use the one of the bows from the from the stamp set, and I am a little ink, again the balmy blue ink, and just gently ink up and press firmly. And while I'm here, I'm going to stamp my greeting. Now this is a little circle that I have cut from the Tasteful Labels. dies. This one here, I've used this a huge amount. I love this particular set of dies. They are so versatile, so useful. And I'm just going to ink up my greeting. Excuse my head if it gets in the screen. There we go. And that's my stamping done with. And then we've got the Gift Bow Builder Punch, and this, I love this. It fits all of the, here we go, it fits all of the larger bows in the stamp set. Plus you can see it's got this little tag which will cut out here. And it's also here got the little part that you can cut the knot of your bow out, and I'm going to do that, and so in a moment. And I'm just going to line this up like this and just punch. There we go. And while I've got my punch handy, I am going to use some of this scrumptious glimmer paper. And I'm just going to put a tiny weeny bit in. I'm going to put a bit in the corner there and just punch out the little knot. And I'm going to use a tiny spot of liquid glue. And a pair of tweezers just to make it easy for myself, and I'm just going to pop it in the middle like that. There we go. Clear the decks a bit. And so now come back to finish off decorating. Now I've got these, let's see, I'm trying to remember, they're glitter stars. And you get 12 in a box, and they're really, really pretty. And I'm going to lay down a glue dot up on the top right hand corner here, and then I'm just going to lay the string of that over. I'm just going to kind of mash it in a little bit like this, just to make sure it's bedded in well. And then with the Stampin' Dimensionals, I'm going to take one of those very, very carefully so it's not showing. I'm popping it in the center in that knot and just popping it over the top of there, of where the glue dot is. And I'm just going to sort of wind it round a little bit, just because I don't really want to cut that bit off. So I'm just going to kind of hide it out the way a bit. There we go. And then with my greeting, I'm going to put another dimensional down here on the box. And then I'm just going to tuck this up. It just is within the footprint of the box, but just tucked under the bow. And there we are. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you'll buy the die and have a go. They are so cute. You can use any colorways that you like. If you look below this video, you will see that there's a link to my blog where there'll be a list of supplies and a link to my online store where you can go and buy the goodies for yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've certainly enjoyed sharing it with you. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on my video. Appreciate that very much. Bye for now.